Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. All right, so the meeting for August 2025 for the Emergency Services Board will start. Any public comment? If there's anybody there or not? If none, we'll move down to approval of minutes from May 15th, 2025. Did everybody get them? Any corrections? Any corrections to the minutes? If not, approval.
I'll second.
Mike, who seconded?
Matt made it. I
Matt second. All right. Approved by Mike, second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? All right, the ayes have it. New business, construction update. Everybody got that? Mike, everything you want to go through with that?
Everybody got the construction update, and also from Jim was the vacant and dangerous buildings. Were there any questions about any of those?
Any questions, anybody? Everybody received them?
Always, if there are questions, reach out to me and I'll reach out to Jim or Dan and we'll get them answered.
Okay, good enough. Police department update.
I think that's me. A couple things. Personnel wise, at the June 9th council meeting, Sergeant Adams, Officer Legge, Officer Bruner, Officer Brown, myself, and Detective Moretti were commended with a unit citation for a kidnapping investigation that occurred in January of 2025. Officer Murdoch and Detective Fullerton were commended with a merit citation for that same work on that case that resulted in the arrest of 3 individuals. That same meeting, Detective Ponzik was commended with a merit citation for his work in recovering tens of thousands of dollars from several elderly resident victims who were scammed by telephone scammers. Officer Michaela Freeney completed the Montgomery County Police Academy. She's assigned to the C Squad, being trained by Officer Donahue. In July of 25, Sergeant Wilhelm was transferred from the Patrol Division to a new position as the Administrative Sergeant for the department. Lieutenant O'Brien retired from the Police Department on July 29th after serving the township for 34 years. He now joins the Souderton Borough Police Department as their police chief. And at the council meeting on the 11th of August, Sergeant Wack was promoted to lieutenant. Officer Fullerton and Officer Phillips were promoted to sergeant, and Officer Eric Gaynor, was sworn in as our newest police officer. We'll be continuing our Cops Guarding Stops program for the 25-26 school year. Officer Wittenberger and our highway unit will be working together looking for violators who are passing school buses while they're picking up or dropping off students. Some recent cases. June 15th, the department responded to a large street race takeover at the intersection of Ridge Pike and Chemical Road. Hundreds of vehicles and spectators gathered at the intersection, blocking the lanes of traffic from the motoring public. 4 vehicles were doing burnouts and other similar exhibition type maneuvers in the intersection before everyone fleeing when our cars arrived at the intersection. We're working with the Philadelphia Police Department and agencies in Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland to identify the leaders of the organization and their drivers that were doing the exhibitions, and we're expecting a positive prosecution result in the very near future. The weekend of July 11th and 12th, the department responded to and investigated 3 firearms incidents, including one that involved the discharge of a firearm in the township. As a result of the 3 incidents, 15 firearms were recovered, including 2 rifles, a shotgun, and 12 handguns, including one with an obliterated serial number. Since our last ESB meeting 98 days ago, the department responded to and investigated 175 retail theft cases. You can pass on to your folks in your organizations. You can follow along with our retail theft cases through and a lot of what we're publishing is going out through our Crime Watch page. I can send out a QR code or a link to that if anybody's interested. Some Part 1 crime data. Since our last ESB meeting, we responded to 2 aggravated assault cases, 11 weapons or firearms violations, 4 robberies, 7 burglaries, and 3 rapes or sexual assaults, including one involving a juvenile. Our 2025 summer cop camp was a success. 32 9 to 11-year-olds spent the week with Officer Wittenberger learning about the police department observing numerous law enforcement demonstrations, and solved a stolen bicycle caper during the week. 2026 will mark our department's 75th anniversary. We're looking for historic memorabilia, pictures, or anything we can use to help commemorate the anniversary. If anybody, any departments or members have anything that may be useful, please reach out to Officer Wittenberger. National Night Out was the 5th of August. We appreciate everyone's participation in bringing the community together for a fun evening. And lastly, the association's annual Officer Brad Fox Memorial Golf Outing is scheduled for Monday, October 13th at Green Valley Country Club. Chief, anything to add?
I don't think there is anything left.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Anything for Chris? Seeing nothing. Thank you, Chris, for your update. Moving on, I see John Hoffman has joined us. Chief, you got an update for Harmville?
Only thing for Harmville is between the last ESB board meeting and now we've run 266 emergency calls. So we're again setting another record this year with our pace for emergency calls. One thing that did come up actually today, and I've already talked to Mike and Jim about this, but I just wanted to get it out there really for Shelley, for you to pass along to John, if you don't mind. In our building meeting this morning, it was noted that the township engineer had requested our fire department connection change from a 2.5-inch national standard thread to a 3-inch national standard thread. And I had said, kind of balked at that right away and said, hey, that wasn't the standard. I reached out to Mike and Jim, who coordinated finding that the township code does say it is a 3-inch national standard thread. But I'm going to actually propose and ask if Mike and Jim wouldn't mind looking at readopting that it's a 2.5-inch national standard thread, as that is what all the buildings that I went to so far today, everything's not 2.5 national standard thread. So at this point, Shelley, if you don't mind relaying to John, we're going to have some standpipes and sprinkler connections in the township that are going to be 2.5-inch. And it sounds like a lot of the newer construction, as the code says, is going to be all 3-inch, which I was unaware of as fire chief, and I'm sure John is unaware. So I guess until Mike and Jim do a little more digging for us to see what buildings that affects, if that's only new construction, if there's been any retro and new outfits that had to change theirs out, then maybe if they can give us a list for that, that we can document in our pre-planning, that would be good.
Yeah, that does not, just so everybody's aware, that does not affect standpipes themselves. They're still 2.5. I think the question comes in play is the fire department connections.
Which I said to Jim,
which-
to me, doesn't make any sense to me that we have standpipe connections are 2.5 national standard thread, but we allowed fire department connections for sprinklers to be 3-inch. So we have two different things. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they're not the same standard.
But one's putting water in, the other one's taking water out. But I can also say that I don't
No, they
know.
both put water in, sprinkler connection and standpipe.
You're saying readopting. I don't know what was adopted originally. I can only tell you that when Jim and I looked it up, this is since even Andy Mount was here, it's been 3-inch. So how far back, I don't know. And I don't know, unless you have any input, Jim, on when that originally started.
I have not. I do not.
Yeah, I told
It's
on my
all
phone call,
new
the
construction.
conversation with Jim was, I told him there was a group of us. It was Andy Mount when he was the fire marshal, Kevin Lawrence when he was chief of Harmonville, Mike Burton was chief of Plymouth, myself and Chuck Luthi met, and we discussed, it was actually the renovation of 777. They were looking to actually go to a Storts connection for the 5-inch for the fire department connection. And we actually argued that we didn't want that. We wanted national standard 2.5. And that's what was approved and checked. And I actually had my career staff go out there today to check 777. And they are both, the sprinkler connection and the fire department standpipe connection are both 2.5-inch national standard thread. So even if the code would have said 3-inch back then, it's not. It's 2.5 on that building. So it just honestly creates a logistical issue for the fire departments that there's not a standard between the standpipe connections and the sprinkler connections. There should be a standard. Either it's all 2.5 or it's all 3-inch. That way guys aren't guessing at 3 o'clock in the morning what they need to take to the building to hook up to it.
Again, once supplying water in to, like for those, it's usually gonna be a 4-inch, 6-inch, or even over an 8-inch pipe. supplying water in, so you want more volume versus standpipe.
It's all
we're
3-inch
taking all
hose,
kinds
Mike.
of
It
things.
supplies the same GPM.
But you have 2.5-inch adapters, so that's
That
most.
doesn't restrict the flow. Doesn't restrict the flow, but
Okay, we can just do that later. But I can only tell you, it's been like that since Andy Mount was here. Now, when he originally started, I don't know what it was. But since, at least me coming on, since Andy was here, or before he retired, new construction has had to have 3-inch.
so can we get a report?
Prior to
within the
that, I
last-
don't know.
So can we work on getting a building list for us with new construction? And we can verify, I'll send my guys out to verify that everything is 3-inch or 2.5-inch.
I'd have to turn to, I hate to say it, the Jim on.
I did a report. I got a 153-page report I had to go through to see what's new construction, because that's all the sprinklers from 2010 to now.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I mean, send it over. I mean, I'm going to have these guys go out and look and at least verify that a lot of the new construction is 3-inch. Because like I said, at 3 o'clock in the morning, this is where my problem runs into. It's not daytime when everybody can see stuff. It's 3 o'clock in the morning when we got to be, know what stuff is. And since there's no standard between the standpipe connections and sprinkler at this point, I want to make sure and verify that. And I have no problem taking that onus on Harmonville to do that. So if we can get a list, well, I'll make sure that we go out and we verify this and we identify that in our pre-plan information.
All right, so Jim's working on that. Yep.
I'll digitize it.
Yeah, John, I have to agree with you. That's a big issue with, mixing stuff up like that, trying to figure out what's going on. That would be a great thing to have that list and we can all go out and see what's going on. And as you said, mark our pre-plans accordingly.
Yeah, and that's really what I want to make it, is just to have the information out there for the guys so they understand, stuff's at their fingertips when they're responding for pre-plan information. But, if we don't have updated information with that, and like I said, I've been doing this for 26, 27 years now in this township, and it has always been 2.5. And that was the first time I heard about it today, that there was a change at some point to 3-inch. And like I said, we only found that out because of our building being done. So that to me, that's a problem.
Okay, anything else, John?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Anything for John? John, just so you know, your building's not there anymore. Disappeared.
Gone.
Gone. All right. Plymouth Fire Company, there's nothing really going on. We're working on some grant stuff. The truck, as we know, is completely done. In service, getting a lot of good comments on it. National Night Out was a good night for I'll say both fire companies. And we're waiting to hear from the police department about the trunk or treat, what's going on with that. And I think that's about it as far as Plymouth goes right now. But John, I will pass that along to the chief, and we'll wait for Jim's report to get that going, to get that stuff identified. So anything for Plymouth Fire Company? All right, moving on. Plymouth Ambulance. Tom, see you there.
Driving, so if I don't look you in the eye, excuse me. Plymouth Ambulance, we're averaging about 330 calls in a 7-day period a week. Our scratch ratio is anywhere from 0 to 1 call out of those 330. Other than that, we're covering a lot of other organizations. We have 3 things coming down the line that will help out both police and fire. I can't reveal that to you, but we obtained some money once again from a benefactor that we're pretty tight with. He helps support our cause and our mission. But the first thing you should be seeing is sometime around November. And then shortly after that, the second, and then early next year to the middle of next year, the third. So when they come down, you'll be the first to know about it. Other than that, our normal CPR, first aid, AED, tourniquet training. If anybody needs anything, they can contact us. Go on our website. And the toy run, which is our big event that we hold every year, that'll be coming out. We don't have a date because we have to schedule that usually around the Philadelphia Eagles. and the 2 hospitals that we go to, but more to come on the toy run. And I'll leave it at that. If anyone has any questions for us, feel free to ask.
Tom, just a question on those numbers you're spitting out for runs. That's the ambulance as a whole, not just Plymouth Township, correct?
I don't know if you were cut out or was me. You were asking about what, Shelley?
The call numbers you gave, that's for the
Average of
ambulance.
330 a week? Yeah,
that's for the
all the
ambulance.
townships.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's what I thought. I just want to make sure. All right. Nothing else for Tom? All right. Thank you, Tom. Emergency management, Chief.
Thanks, Joe. Just a reminder to the fire companies and to the medics about the list of resources that you have. I know a lot of you are probably still working on it. I'm just reminding you that we're compiling that kind of stuff, and then we'll make sure that everybody has it, so we all know what we have, and we all know when we need something, who actually houses it. Also want to just mention the IAPs that Chris Schwartz has been sending out, just as a reminder that when we send those out, just to give us your input, or at least to acknowledge that you got it, you're okay with it, for any of these events that we have going on. If you wanted to designate somebody in your agency, or if the chiefs want to do it personally, but we just want to make sure that we're not all on the same page, but we're all in this together. So obviously, it's more than just your input. You might have some concerns that we need to address before these things are approved. And Lieutenant Rocco Wack is in charge of our drone program. He told me that he's reached out a couple weeks ago to all the chiefs. And just throwing that out there again, that we're happy to send out operators to your training, whatever it is you're doing, so you can get a feel for what the drones can do for you, and that your people can get trained to function, to be a viewer, to understand how to operate these things. So if you just get back to them and let them know if it's something that you just want to see what it can do for you, that you might be interested. It doesn't have to just be for pre-planning. It can actually, be operational as well. So again, all the things that any of us have, or that any of us do, are for everybody. And we're just like you guys have always been over backwards for us. Please know that that's what we do for you guys as well. Anybody have any questions for me?
Okay. Chief, are we still working on that emergency management drill?
We are. If it wasn't made clear to everybody, it's been pushed back to November. We actually have a date, and Chris might know what the date is, but it's in November now. The schools agreed to it. There's so much planning that's going into it and making sure that enough people are available that it had to be pushed back from August. But it's still going to be on a Saturday during the day to make sure that it's more doable for the fire companies, with the volunteers, things like that. Chris, do you remember what the date was for that?
Yeah, it's Saturday, November 15th. It'll be from 7 a.m. till noon time. We expect to have a small team from the police department that'll be reaching out to the 3 chiefs to come out and meet with your leadership to review some expectations for active shooters in general, not just for the training itself. There's a little bit of, mix up from what was published from a couple of the chiefs associations to how we're planning on operating it here in Plymouth.
Okay. Thank you. Chris, need help, please reach out and we'll help to jump on board with you. That's it for emergency management. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Kevin, you have anything?
I don't have anything to add, but I will say on the the list of equipment you're assembling for the township, we can provide what type of assets we have at EVB in terms of heavy equipment, our wreckers, our trailers, excavators, things like that. So I'm happy to put something together for you guys.
Yeah, Kevin,
Actually,
I'll reach out to you.
That'd be
Okay.
very much appreciated. You have a lot of good, important stuff that would be very useful. So yes,
Yeah,
thank
just
you.
in case, you never know what's going to happen. Some type of where we need any type of heavy equipment, I'll put that together, get with Chris on that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. All right, moving along, pretty much wrapping up here. Any miscellaneous business?
I got some for fire marshal.
Yeah.
Few updates. Another question came up, actually probably a couple months now, about the new regional fire investigation team for Region 6, for the Fire Region 6, that is. That was formed. We're still having some meetings, trying to get things together and get things formed there. Dispatch group, which is where John originally questioned about the, when that came up, that actually moved along very fast, faster than most of us thought. I just want to make clear that we're not changing here in Plymouth Township. We're not going to change the way in which we're doing that. Except that with this RFIC 6 group, it's going to make it easier for me to call up the county and just say, give me the group if I want the group as a whole, which we haven't really done or used. It saves time in that now I don't have to turn around and call the county and say, give me this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. You can just say, give us that group. And it saves me time not having to call or text everybody individually. However, we don't foresee it really going that way since we got a good core group ourselves in our own township. We're going to probably be status quo of how we've done it before. Is if we need additional help, I'm going to reach out to 1 or 2 people because I don't want 4 or 5 people coming in necessarily. So we're going to still do that. We are all still working on the new NFPA 1321, which is actually brand new this year for NFPA. As far as fire investigation teams go. So we're trying to coordinate on that as if we ever do have to work together. But I'm also working on that just for ourselves, but we have a team, just the 4 of us by ourselves. So we're working on those kinds of things. So that's going along. We're working on actively doing the daycares and the schools right now for fire inspections. We've already done some, and there are some, actually, all the public schools will be done tomorrow. But they're in the works right now for the beginning of the school year. And come October, we'll be, because I know before the next meeting is, we'll be doing all our school drills, daycare, fire drills, and Plymouth, the new owners of Plymouth Executive Campus have already reached out to do drills there as they usually done in the past. The Brandywine folks have not reached out to me yet, but I'm going to presume they're going to want to do something in October. And of course, I'm going to invite them right now, invite the fire companies to come and join us and assist us with that. That's all I got.
All right, Mike, thanks. Other of the school schedules you're doing for fire prevention?
Yeah, we
Get that
said
out,
what
or
I'm doing.
you're gonna-
We will get that out. Yes. Yep.
Okay,
We usually
All right.
do. We try and send that out ahead of time so everybody's aware. And we typically start on a Tuesday and try and get done by Thursday, leaving us Friday as an extra day. And I still want to look at doing that this year too. So we always have that failover if we needed to, and that something gets canceled, we have calls, something like that. We still have the extra day to do it.
okay. Any questions for Mike? All right, thanks, Mike. Matt, wake you up back here. You have anything for anybody? You're good? Okay. Nothing else for miscellaneous? Any old business? No old business? Okay. Next meeting will be Thursday, November 20th, 2025. I'm assuming we're going to keep this format for whoever wants to do the Zoom or go to the township building and sit on that end of it, whatever everybody's comfortable with. Is there any audience participation? Because I know there's a million people in here watching this. Okay. Motion for adjournment.
I'll motion.
Chris,
Second.
second by Mike. All in favor?
All
All
right.
right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll see you in November.
Thank you all.
See you guys. Thank you. Have a good day.